And so I was like, she's like, we need to fix it. And I was like, maybe Doc McStuffins could fix it. Because that's like a cartoon character that fixes stuffed animals. And she goes, no, silly. She's in the TV.
All right.
Not she's a cartoon or on TV. She's in the TV. Same thing, Curtis. Why is it so small?
You guys are live, so Danny's just finishing up a story about his daughter believing that people in the television are literally in the television.
In the TV.
Which is cool. Dean's here with a new haircut live for Q&A in the warehouse. So we have some questions, guys. We're going to answer them. I'm going to go ahead and just give you, to the best of my ability, what the name of the Instagram user is, and then I'll direct them.
Oh,
first.
You did a Q&A on?
Yeah,
on
in Instagram.
Now,
so
you said we're live. Do you mean live, like streaming now, or like you're recording this and you're going to post
I'm recording it live. I got like the Janet Jackson button where I could just bleep out the nipple, technically on my computer.
It's live and indirect.
Yes. So, first question is going to be, I'll give this to Dean because I think you dealt with this for a little bit. Vic_Mang94, if that's how you say it. How do you train around tendonitis?
Oh, every day I deal with that. You know, I don't know how else to sound like when I say this, but when it comes to tendonitis, there's really nothing you can do about it. Besides, there is stretching. There is I use Graston stretching.
You use Graston a lot.
Yeah, I do like the Graston.
Rub it down.
Rub it down. It hurts, but I mean, it lets me train the next day without like quitting. But it still hurts. I also use joint liquid joint medicine, or not medicine, but supplements.
Joint juice.
Stuff like that. But I think that, you know, for me personally, I deal with it in my elbow and in my left knee quad area. The quadricep tendonitis is exactly what it's called, but and also like a tennis elbow. Yeah, I would just say, you know, a lot of stretching and a lot of hydration, joint medicine, Graston, just whatever you can do. It's just at least an hour of maintenance.
There's a lot of studies that show something that's very effective and really helpful is cross-frictional ice massage. So a good way to do that is you get like a Dixie cup or a styrofoam cup and you fill it with water, put it in the freezer.
I've seen that.
Peel back.
And then peel back, just pull back the end of it. Just pull back the end.
Expose the head.
Expose the head. And then you can use that and kind of cross-frictional. So you go across the tendon. So if this is your tendon, you go side to side across it with the ice. You do that for like, I think you're supposed to do it for like 20 minutes, which means you'll probably actually do it for like 7.
Yeah.
And anyways, that actually helps. Lots of studies show the cross-frictional ice
Have
massage.
you used this tactic?
Mm-hmm. I've done
You like it?
patellar tendon.
They did.
I've done a little bit.
Did a little bit in college when I had some issues. Yeah. This one's for Danny.
It's hard to get in. Like elbow's kind of weird to get in there though. So like for like if it's like patellar tendonitis, then
I really just Graston the shit out of my area right here, like below the tricep. It's like always sore, but it really releases it like right here.
Next question. This guy's pretty jacked. His name's Fit by Dave. I'm giving this one to Danny. It's a pretty funny question, but it's probably very serious, but I thought it was funny. Caffeine kilos. Can arms and biceps be too big for doing proper cleans, keeping all the fingers underneath the bar in the rack position, or is it just a matter of more stretching, mobility work?
Absolutely not. Evidence of that, Ben Clardad. Dude has the biggest biceps in weightlifting, just yacked, and not a problem. So, yeah, it's a mobility issue for sure. And so ways to address that would actually be front squat. Practice front squatting with a full hand grip. And once you've mastered that, actually front squat with a hook grip. And some people even say front squat using straps. And so those are kind of some ways to work
it forces you in that really high rack position.
Yeah. And so, and if you can't do that, just try and get more of a full hand grip on the bar, and then ideally a hook grip. If you're actually front squatting with a hook grip, that's actually great mobility work for that front rack position.
Thank you, Danny. Next is from Danny J. Villanueva. Sorry, I'm really horrible at reading. This one's for Dean. I think this is good, too, because you had a wrist issue.
Finish the pirate.
What's a good way to keep training while not being able to use one arm? Specifically, his recent bicep tear surgery. So, if you have one arm, what's a good way to be able to train with one arm?
Ooh, I can't necessarily relate to the bicep part, but when I had a pretty serious, when I say serious, I don't mean broken, but a wrist injury to where I couldn't go overhead at all, and I was worried about front squatting. I really wrapped my bar with the weightlifting strap. So it put me in my hand and my wrist in a straight position like this, and I was able to really just get the bar deep into my collarbone to where I wasn't using my arm necessarily to lift any of the weights. And I didn't really feel any tension in my biceps, so that might be something that you could try. But as far as other lifts besides squatting, shoot, I mean, there's a lot of, the hip circle, squat belts, there's like box jumps.
There's that death trap, the safety squat bar, which is actually the most unsafe way to squat in the history.
Safety squat bar, but those are hard to come by sometimes, I feel like. But
so make your own wrap straps around it. Another thing is too, don't be afraid to use your other arm, one arm stuff. Like do overhead squats holding kettlebell or dumbbell in your good hand.
Oh, you had a labrum surgery about a year back, right?
About 2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
So so that maybe 3. I don't know, it's been a while. So lots of one arm stuff is good too, and you can do hip weight. If you say you can't support weight on your back or on your chest because your bicep thing, whatever, it's like weird positioning, you could just do like hip weighted squats, a really good way to do that. But don't be, again, one arm stuff. Do one single arm ring rows. Do single arm pull ups if you can. That'd be dope.
Isn't
and do like a single arm push press. There's actually shown, I remember from college, there's a study also about like there's a thing in the body where if you train one side, boom, then it both sides get the benefits from it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you train only the right arm, then the left arm still gets benefits from it. Primarily in the lower body, it's more prevalent, but it happens in the upper body as well.
That's what I was just going to throw that in there when you said it.
Okay, I'll do Danny and Dean, both you guys could jump on this. There's 2 questions. I'm going to put them into one. One is from Ion Niles, and one is I.Nguyen, I believe. There's 2 questions. They can be answered kind of together. Is overhead pressing necessary for a powerlifter? Particularly maybe building the bench press, and then how would one in powerlifting make the transition to Olympic weightlifting?
Well, one, we are not powerlifters, so we should say that first of all.
Yes.
However,
you've seen it. Shane Hammond's done it. Rob's guy's doing it.
Obviously, a lot of good friends that are powerlifters, and we see what they do on a daily basis.
I believe that powerlifters should still overhead press. I mean, it's basic strength, and here's the thing too. You're talking about core stability, right? Like overall, the more movement patterns you do that are just like overall functional movement patterns, as far as like from the standing position, the better you're going to be. That's so crucial for core strength and midline stability. It helps a lot of things. So strict press for powerlifters, or standing press, or standing push press, be very beneficial. How do you make that transition to weightlifting? Just do it.
Yeah.
There's that.
Well, look at James Tatum.
James Tatum was a powerlifter, and then we're going to Shane Hammond. We said. And, get on about, and so right now there's this kid who's just starting. What's that guy's name? Steven. His Instagram like
Steven Puerto Rican.
I don't think that's
the one
it.
from.
No, but he's cool. He's my buddy.
His Instagram name is Stephen Nay. So anyway, he's
he's exciting to watch.
More, the guy's just strong as an ox and is transitioning to weightlifting, and it's kind of fun to watch his. He just started like maybe 9 months ago or something.
Yeah.
So you kind of watch his transformation now. He's under Coach Rob, British Rob, here in the Bay Area.
Well, I think like one of the main things, I think that's like a quick tip if you're making the transition is to probably focus more on Olympic style squat, high bar squat.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily
more front squats.
Yeah, more front squats. Don't necessarily do wide feet, low bar squatting because that's not really going to carry over strength for you in the clean and jerk or snatch. So change the squat technique. Pull, maybe not pull as often. Maybe would you say like just I don't know.
It depends on how they train. Powerlifters train all different ways. Like
that's true. Yeah, there's not one style
they
of training.
Pull once a week or even once every 2 weeks. You get other people who say they pull 3-4 days a week in powerlifting.
That's
all
true.
over the place.
But yeah, maybe just like the squatting especially is kind of focus more on front squats to build the flexibility in the upper body,
upright torso,
upright torso, and all that stuff. So
next,
and then just do it.
Next question, we're gonna do 3 more. Because we're going to run out of time here. The first one, I want to address this to Danny because you've been training athletes for some time now. Jamie Brinham, I think is her name, 17-year-old female just starting to implement benching. Is it better to pause or tap and go reps in training?
Both. I think that when you get better, so I guess that I didn't answer your question, you said it was better, and I said both. So the answer would be I don't think that one would be better than the other unless you're only allowed to do one for some reason. But you can probably do both. So like alternate days, like one day you do a pause, next day you tap and go. Maybe you work in some like floor press, some other stuff like that too. But I think that especially when you're first starting off, Like the kind of the more variance, that type of stuff you do, the better it's going to be. Everything has a purpose, you know what I mean? Or maybe you do a split second pause and you do a longer pause other times, you know? So I just think kind of varying stuff like that is actually really good for you. And here's another key. Do you plan on competing in powerlifting? If you're going to compete in powerlifting, then implementing a pause relatively frequently would probably be a good idea because you're going to be required to do that in the powerlifting meet. If you're just benching just to get yacked, then bounce that shit. You know what I mean? Oh,
Next,
Juicy J,
Ride the wave.
ride the lightning. Come on.
and then Danny, last question. It's from an athlete that I don't know if he's any good or not. His name's Wes Kits22.
Never heard of him.
Who's that guy?
He said, how do you tell a girl if you really, really like her?
Well, so Wes, first off, I know you just got married recently. Congratulations. So you need to change your Instagram name from Wes Kits to Wes whatever her last name is. I think that's
He took her name, right?
I'm pretty sure he took her name. So there's that aspect of it. So go ahead and get cracking on that, Wesley. The other thing is, I think what you do is you walk up to her and you take her hand and you say, "Baby, I really, really like you."
That was smooth.
You know? Yeah.
That was smooth.
Just slide it in there, slide it in there, you know?
It is
and
smooth.
then,
And then you slowly walk away.
and then you and then what you do is you then put your head down and you
Exit screen left.
screen left. Or there's one more way to do it. You just approach her and you say, "Hey, you busy Friday night?" And she says, "No." Say, "Okay, sounds good. We're going out." You just don't leave it an option.
That's called the boss hog.
Just tell him. Say, "Okay, well, go get a new dress because we're going out. Pick you up at 7." Just don't give him an option.
And then you got to give her the triple tap.
Then you go with these. All right, I'll see you at 7.
All right, guys, this is our weekly Q&A. You have Danny. It's at Danny Lehr on Instagram, and then Dean at C&K Dean on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on Caffeine and Kilos Instagram. We're all over the place. Check out our newest products, www.caffeineandkilos.com. Thanks, guys.
Snips up.